So yesterday we did the commutative and the associative property. Today we're going to do the distributive property. And the distributive property means to pass things out. So, for example here, I have 4 squares. I could pass out a circle to each one of them. Whoops. I'm distributing a circle, passing it out. Everybody gets a circle. And sometimes I can have to pass 2 things out. So maybe everybody gets a triangle. In fact, I can distribute as many things as I want. So just remember, distribute means to pass out. Likewise, I could undistribute. Let's say we needed all the circles to go back. Say something was wrong. Oh, I passed out the wrong worksheet. Okay, everybody pass their worksheets back to me. Okay, and I passed out the wrong worksheet here. Everybody passed their worksheet back to me. So that's the cool thing about the distribution property. It can go backwards and it can go forwards. So let's look at it using some math. So for example here, we've got some distribution going on. We know it's distribution for 2 reasons. One, the parentheses. These 2 are being associated with each other, and then we're saying to multiply by 3. So in other words, we want to take x minus 9 and multiply it by 3. We would get 3x minus 27, because the x has to get multiplied by 3, and the 9 has to get multiplied by 3. Here, we have a 6 minus 2y. And we are asking you to multiply that by a 4x. All right, so when I multiply here, well, the 6 and the 4 can get multiplied together to get me 24. And, you know, the x just comes along for the ride. It's got nobody to multiply by. Also in this class is a 2y. So this 2y has to get multiplied by this 4x also. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then the x and the y with the subtraction sign in the middle. This last one, right on this page, look how many things have to get passed out here. 2 numbers have to get passed out. This is like from before, where I was passing out triangles and circles. So just like on this, we could only do 1 at a time. First, we did all our circles. We're going to do the same concept here. We're going to pass out 1 thing at a time. First, we're going to pass an x out to the class. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Okay, good. The x got passed out. Now I'm going to pass out a 9 to everybody. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 4 is negative 36. Now I wrote it this way because I'm going to have to do something called combine like terms. So this x squared is all by itself. This negative 4 and this positive 9 can combine because they're both from the world of x's. So I get positive 5x. And then this negative 36 has nobody to combine with because it's simply a number, where these are variables. We're going to practice more of this double distribution. It's very, very important in math. But what I want you to learn today is to recognize that there are 2 things that have to get passed out to this classroom of x minus 4, not just 1. Now you may look at this and say, hey, I don't see any distribution going on here. Ah, but it's hidden. The classroom is the 10x minus 6. And what's getting passed out to that classroom? a half. See? Divide by 2 is the same as multiply by a half. So what is half of 10? 5, and that x. What's half of negative 6? Negative 3. Now some of you going, hey, Mrs. Trulin, can't you just say 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 6 divided by 2 is 3? Absolutely. So looking at number 5 here, my classroom is the x plus 2. And what's getting passed out to the x plus 2? 9 over 18. Hey, 9 over 18 is a half. So I'm kind of like that other one again. I'm passing out a half. Half of x. Well, I don't know what x is, so I'm taking half of whatever it is. Can I take half of 2? Yes, it's 1. Now these last few are a little different. And this is actually how I multiply, people. I know you've probably taught to multiply this way. 458 times 3, 24, carry the 2, 15, 16, 17, carry the 1, 12, 13. So my answer is 1,734. Now that's the way I would multiply if I had a pen and paper nearby. But guess what? Even though I'm good in math and I majored in math in college, and I don't hold numbers well in my head. So if I were to think of it this way in my head, I get lost. So I multiply by distribution. I break the number apart because I find that easier to do in my head. So there's the number 458 broken apart. And this is what I do in my head. 3 times 4 is 12. And I've got zeros after it. 3 times 5 is 15 with 1 0. And then in my head, I actually add that together. For some reason, I can hold this number because it's very simple. I don't have to worry about putting 4 down, carrying, and then go, oh my God, what was that number I just put down there? I don't know why, it just works in my head. I can't explain my head. And the last one is 3 times 4 is 28. Oh, sorry, 3 times 8 is 24. And then I can add the 24 in. And look, I get the same answer. So that's how I multiply. It works really well with small numbers, such as the next one. Let me clean this page up. Get that stuff out of here. And let me show you how I'd look at this. 5 times 70 plus 4. So my head would do 5 times 70 is 350. 5 times 4 is 20. And then I'd add them together to get me 370. Now, if you still like this other way, I'm not forcing you to change to my way. Not at all. I'm just showing you a different way to do stuff. I've had a couple of kids who's like, boy, this is cool, and they've actually switched to multiplying this way. Well, here's the same thing as that double distribution that we did back here. I've got to take 23 and break it down into 20 plus 3. And then I have to take 48 and break it down into 40 plus 8. Now I'm going to multiply everybody by 20. 800, 160, and that gets me 960. Now I'm going to multiply, pass out the 3, multiply everybody by 3. 120, 24, 4, 144, and then I'm going to add them together, and guess what? Even when I go to add, I break things apart. I say 900 plus 100 is 1,000. I say 60 plus 40 is 100. And then 0 plus 4 is 4. Now, once again, I'm not saying you have to multiply this way, but it's kind of cool, and we're going to practice this tomorrow in class. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.